Welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Real Estate, where we touch on different topics in about a 5-minute span. And today's episode is brought to you by my book, Pick It Up, Real Estate Prospecting. You pick it up on Amazon, most Barnes & Noble stores, and then if you've read it, please review it. Really need those reviews. Now let's talk about active listening. I've broken it down to 6 steps, or 6 things that you need to do to get better at active listening. And there can definitely be more to this, but again, we've only got a short time. Number 1, you've got to be sincere in the approach. So if you have someone sitting across from you or on the phone or wherever, the ability for your sincerity to come across through truthfulness, through body stance, through words, through tonality, the sincerity has to show that you actually care about the other people. Now, as you do the other 5 things, that sincerity will be a lot clearer to them. So number 1, from the very beginning, be as sincere as possible. That means they know you want to help, right? They know you want to connect. And there is no hidden agenda. You want to connect with people and they're going to feel it. Number 1. Number 2, remain neutral. They're going to say things or maybe insinuate things, and you don't go one way or the other. Your job, your duty when you're listening and you're doing active listening is to remain as neutral as possible because you're connecting with them deeper. And in essence, it's almost like you have no agenda. Your agenda is to, if you have one, is to create this relationship, and doing it by being sincere and remaining neutral so that you remove the emotional part from your thoughts, from your responses, because if you remain neutral, they open up a lot more because they feel like, great, I'm not being judged. I can open up and I can let this person know more. That is the key right there. Number 3, be an interviewer. Interviewers naturally ask more questions. They don't barrage the person with a whole bunch of questions. They typically do it at 1 and sometimes 2 at a time. When you're an interviewer, your job is to dig deeper and you don't have an agenda of your own. Your job is just ask questions that go further and further along the lines of what's important to them. See, the thing with this is when you're an interviewer, you're setting up the next question based on what they're saying. And that's key because it makes them feel, wow, this person is actually listening. They're asking questions that pertain to this specific topic and they're going further down the line. Number 4, clarify. That means when you ask questions and they give you a response, you want to make sure that you say, is this what you mean? Did you mean this? Am I understanding correctly? When you do that for certain things, not after every single question that's answered, there's certain things, it allows them to fully know that you are listening because you're clarifying. And more importantly, you are clarifying because sometimes we don't understand the way they're trying to communicate to us. So that becomes a lot clearer. Number 5, dig deeper along the same context of what they're talking about. I think here is where sometimes we hear them say something and let's say they say, yeah, you know what? We got this great painting over in Italy and we love it. We think we're going to leave it with the house. We're going to put it up. And then you say something like, whoa, yeah, I've been to Italy. What part of Italy? And then you go off on a tangent about how amazing Italy was for you and how you saw paintings like that. And then nobody cares. The idea is you stay within the context and say, yeah, you know what? This painting is amazing. In fact, it does reflect that part of Italy. Tell me more about why you want to leave it with the home. Right? And then they say, well, we want to leave it with the home because we feel like it fits perfectly with the spirit of the house. And then you ask to clarify this. So you're leaving it with the home if you get full price. But what if they come in less than full price? Do you still want to leave it with the home? You clarify. You see that? That is when you listen and you dig deeper along the same context. Number 6, the last one, offer value as you give responses. So you're going to dig deeper with questions to get clarity and to do this interview style to create that feeling like you actually care, because you do through sincerity. But you also want to offer value. This is the key point. You offer it subtly as well. When they mention things like that painting, for example, and you ask questions to get clarity, and you say, well, what do you want, this or that? What if they get less? What if you get less for the home? And they say, well, if we get less, then that's great. Let's do this then. You give them a solution and say, well, why don't we leave it for only if they come in at asking price? And after that, maybe it's negotiable. Or why don't we leave it until we're under contract and we can throw that painting in if by any chance we missed any repairs and they want to come in and say, hey, I want to fix all this. Maybe we can throw in the painting as a form of substitute for you fixing anything. The point is, you've got a lot of options here, and they're hiring you, or they're interviewing you, or you're talking to whoever you're talking to give them more value, to strengthen the relationship. What is it that you have to offer to this meeting, to this conversation, to this presentation? What is that? And that comes in the form of value after listening and digging deeper. But you have to be verbal, right? People have to know, got it, this person knows what they're talking about. Got it, this person listened to me and they get me, right? They understand. That's it. That's a wrap. Active listening. Hopefully you do some of these and you work on the rest. We'll talk tomorrow.